The boy who built an empire, the military genius of Akbar the Great. Imagine inheriting a crumbling empire at the age of 13. No territory you can truly call your own. Enemies circling on every border. Generals who think they know better than you. Most boys that age are still learning how to read. This boy would go on to build one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. This is the story of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and how a child became a conqueror. When Akbar's father, Emperor Humayun, died suddenly in 1556 after a fall down his library steps, the Mughal Empire was barely holding together. At the time of his ascent to the throne, Akbar's empire encompassed Kabul, Kandahar, Delhi, and parts of Punjab, a fraction of what it would become. Into this chaos stepped a boy king, guided by his father's most trusted general, Bairam Khan, who served as regent, but the enemies were already moving. A Hindu general named Hemu had seized both Agra and Delhi, declared himself king, and was marching with 100 war elephants toward the young emperor. The Mughal throne was just days from extinction. Then came Panipat. Bairam Khan led Akbar's forces at the Second Battle of Panipat in 1556 against Hemu Vikramaditya and his Afghan army. The two armies clashed on the same legendary ground where Akbar's grandfather Babur had first established Mughal power. Hemu's forces were winning. His war elephants had broken the Mughal left and right flanks. Victory seemed certain until a single arrow changed history. An arrow pierced Hemu's eye, knocking him unconscious. Seeing their leader fall, his army collapsed and fled. The Mughals claimed a decisive victory, and the throne was saved. Akbar, barely 14, had survived his first test, but he was just getting started. Most conquerors of the era ruled by fear: crush your enemies, convert them, humiliate them. Akbar looked at the fierce Rajput warrior kingdoms of northern India and made a different calculation. He knew that conquering the Rajputs by force alone was impossible. So instead of fighting them to the last man, he brought them into his empire through marriage alliances and mutual respect. He married the Rajput princess Jodhabai, daughter of Raja Baramal of Amber, and appointed Rajput generals to lead his own armies. It was a masterstroke. The Rajputs became the most loyal soldiers in the Mughal military, crucial in campaigns like the conquest of Gujarat in 1572. He didn't just conquer people, he made them want to fight for him. Not every Rajput clan submitted. The proud rulers of Muir refused to bow. And so in 1568, Akbar marched on Chittorgarh, the most iconic fortress in all of Rajputana, perched on a rocky hilltop and considered virtually unconquerable. The siege lasted 6 months. Rana Uday Singh retreated to the hills, leaving his two greatest warriors, Jaimal and Putta, to defend the fort to the death. They did. When the walls finally broke, the cost was enormous on both sides. Chittorgarh had fallen, but it would never be forgotten. After Chitta came Ranthambore, Kalinjar, Bikaner, and Jaisalmer. One by one, the great Rajput strongholds submitted. Rajputana had fallen. With Rajputana secured, Akbar turned his eyes east and west. In 1572, the Mughal Empire annexed Gujarat, giving Akbar his first access to the sea and the trade routes of the Arabian world. Then came Bengal. The Mughal army crushed the opposition at the Battle of Tukaroy in 1575, bringing Bengal and Bihar under imperial control. The conquests didn't stop. Kashmir fell in 1586, Sindh in 1591, Kandahar in 1595. Mughal armies then pushed south into the Deccan. By the time it was done, Akbar ruled an empire of over 100 million people, one of the largest on earth. What made Akbar truly extraordinary wasn't just the battles he won, it was what he built after winning them. He introduced the Mansabdari system, organizing both the military and the administration with remarkable efficiency. He appointed people based on merit, not birth or religion. He abolished the jizya, the tax imposed on non-Muslims, a radical act of tolerance for his time. He invited scholars, poets, musicians, and theologians of every faith into his court. He developed a syncretic spiritual philosophy aimed at uniting the diverse peoples of his empire. He built Fatehpur Sikri, a magnificent capital city rising from the desert, as a monument to that vision. He was illiterate, yet his court became one of the greatest centers of learning in the entire world. He was a conqueror who understood that the hardest thing to build isn't an army, it's loyalty. Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar died on October 27, 1605. He left behind an empire stretching from Kabul to Bengal, from Kashmir to the Deccan. He had come to power as a child with nothing. He left as one of the most powerful rulers in human history. Every dynasty turns to dust, but some leave marks that last forever. Subscribe, and next week we go deeper.